The cork pops before I can stop her. Foam spills over her glass as she laughs. It's the kind of laugh that used to undo me. Now it sounds rehearsed. Congratulations, Alara. New job, new man, new bracelet. I lift my glass and try to keep my tone light. She glances at the diamond on her wrist. You noticed? Hard to miss. It shines brighter than the skyline. Her lips twitch. He has taste. And money. The words hit like a slap. I force a smile. Guess love was never part of the deal. She looks straight at me, eyes cold and calm. You'll understand one day. Stability matters more than love.
Ow.
The rooftop hums with music. Waiters glide between tables. The city below feels far away, unreal. I set my glass down before it shakes in my hand. So that's it? I ask. After 3 years, I get a lecture about stability? She leans back, crosses her legs, and studies me like a stranger. You are good for me, Callum. You made me dream. But Grant gives me security. I'm tired of dreaming. I laugh once. You mean he gives you a penthouse? She flinches but recovers fast. He gives me peace. Peace, I repeat. The kind you buy with money? Don't do this. Her voice lowers. Don't make me feel guilty. I'm not trying to. I just want to understand how you looked me in the eye last week and said you loved me. She glances away. I meant it at the time. At the time. I step closer. What changed? Her fingers tighten around her glass. You didn't? That's the problem? You still chase passion like it pays rent. And you chase comfort like it fills your heart. For a second, her face cracks. Then Grant walks onto the rooftop, suit pressed, grin sharp. His presence silences everything around us. Callum, he says. Heard a lot about you. Likewise, I answer. My jaw aches from holding the smile. He extends a hand. She tells me you're talented. Maybe one day you'll work for me. Lara's eyes flick between us. I shake his hand, grip firm. I prefer working with people I respect. Grant chuckles. Honesty. I like that. He turns to Alara. Ready to go? She nods but doesn't move. Her gaze sticks to me. For a moment, I see something raw behind her polished expression. Regret, maybe, or memory. I clear my throat. You should go. Don't want to keep your investment waiting. Grant smirks. He's clever. Lara stands. Goodbye, Callum. Want to say something sharp, something that will stay with her. Instead, I watch her slip her arm into his. They walk toward the elevator, glittering like a magazine cover. The waiter appears beside me. Another drink, sir? Make it 2, he pours. I stare at the bubbles rising and try to pretend my chest doesn't feel hollow. Her laughter echoes across the rooftop. It's louder now, almost forced. When they disappear, I finally exhale. I grab the bill and reach for my phone. That's when I see it her phone, sitting next to her empty glass. The screen lights up. One unread message. Mara, she told you yet? My pulse jumps. The name rings a faint bell. Mara, Alara's best friend. The one who always avoided eye contact when we were together. I shouldn't look, but I can't help it. Another message comes in, Mara. You deserve to know the truth. I pocket the phone before I think. My head spins. I walk toward the edge of the rooftop, the city stretching beneath me in perfect glittering order, while my life fractures at the seams. Grant's voice still rings in my head. Work for me. Like he owns every piece of her. I down the champagne in one breath and leave the table in the elevator. I stare at the reflection of my face in the glass. I look calm. I'm not. My jaw tightens as I replay every line she said. Stability matters more than love. The doors open to the lobby. A woman steps in, holding a phone identical to Alara's. Blonde hair, dark lipstick, tailored dress. She looks at me once, then at the phone in my hand. Did she forget that upstairs? She asks, Yeah, you're Callum, right? Do I know you? She smiles faintly. I'm Mara. The elevator doors close. My grip on the phone tightens. She studies me, calm and curious. I thought she would have told you by now. Told me what? Her eyes shift to the city lights outside the glass. That she didn't leave you for love or money? She left you because she was told to. By who? The elevator stops. She steps out without answering. Before the doors shut, she looks back and says, "Text me when you're ready to hear it." The doors close again. I stare at the reflection of my face, colder now, sharper. I press the button to the rooftop again, but I know she's gone. Back on the empty terrace. I place Alara's phone on the table and scroll through the messages. Most are from Grant. Short, possessive lines. "Where are you? Be ready by 8. Or the blue one. Then Mara again. "Don't forget why you're doing this." The words hit harder than the breakup. Why she's doing this? Doing what? I scroll up further. One voice note from Mara. I hesitate and play it. Her voice fills the air, calm, controlled. "If he finds out, you're finished. But remember, we agreed. 1 month, then you walk away." He gets his leverage. You get freedom. He never needs to know. The audio ends. My stomach twists. Alara's last words echo in my head. Stability matters more than love. I stare at the skyline, trying to make sense of it. She didn't just leave me. She was part of something bigger. A soft buzz breaks the silence. A new message appears on her screen. "Mara, he's watching both of us now." I pocket the phone and head toward the exit. Every step heavier than the last. My heart pounds, but something colder than heartbreak settles in its place. This isn't over. It's only beginning. I didn't plan to see her again the next evening. I was at a downtown networking event, the kind where everyone talks about investments and pretends they're not competing. I needed the distraction. Then I saw her, Mara, the woman from the elevator. She stood near the bar, dark hair loose, eyes sharp, lips red enough to stop a room. She caught my stare and smiled like she had been waiting for me. I walked over before I could think. "You're everywhere, aren't you?" She swirled her drink. "Maybe you're just looking in the right places now. Still play mysterious?" "Only with people who ask too many questions." I leaned on the counter. "You mentioned Alara yesterday. Said she left because she was told to." "Told by who?" Her expression didn't change. "You really want to talk about Alara here?" "I want to understand why my life fell apart over a glass of champagne." She turned toward the bartender. "2 bourbons. Neat." "You don't know what I drink," I said. I guessed. "You look like someone who wants to burn something from the inside." When the drinks arrived, she lifted hers. 2 bad choices. I raised mine. To people who make them, we drank in silence. The city lights from the terrace reflected in her eyes. Finally, she said, "Grant Hale isn't what he pretends to be. You probably know that already. I know he buys loyalty. I just didn't realize mine was on sale." She studied me for a moment. "You're angry, but not at her. You're angry at yourself for believing her. You sound like you've been there." Her lips curved slightly. "Maybe I have." I set my glass down. "What are you really trying to tell me, Mara? That the breakup wasn't her idea?" Grant wanted her close. He knew being with you would get in the way. So he made her choose. "Choose," I said. "He bought her then?" She tilted her head. "He doesn't buy women. He owns them." The words landed heavy. "You sound like you know that firsthand." Her smile faded. "I worked with him once. PR consulting for one of his firms. I learned quickly that power is his favorite currency. And you think Alara's trapped? She's pretending not to be." I took a slow breath. "You expect me to believe you?" "I expect you to trust your instincts." She turned away, scanning the crowd. The low music mixed with the hum of conversations. I could feel the tension pull between us like static. I said quietly, "You didn't come here by accident." She looked back, meeting my eyes. "Neither did you." Something in her tone made my pulse jump. "Why help me?" I asked. "You're her friend?" She hesitated. "Once, not anymore." "What changed?" She sipped her drink before answering. "Grant, he ruins everything he touches. Even friendships. Especially friendships." Her voice softened, almost regretful. "Alara lied to protect herself, but she didn't realize she was protecting him too. I frowned. What do you mean? Grant has dirt on her. Enough to keep her silent. She's scared of losing everything. My throat tightened. So she traded me for safety. Mara's eyes flicked up. That's one way to say it. Do you know what the leverage is? I might, she said. But you wouldn't believe me if I told you now. Try me. She placed her hand on my wrist. The touch was deliberate, calm, calculated. You'll find out soon enough. Just be ready. The contact lingered longer than it should have. I wanted to pull back, but didn't. There was something in her presence that mixed danger with temptation. I was too tired to resist either. I looked down at her hand. You enjoy being cryptic? Only when the truth is worse. I laughed once. You sound like someone who likes control. I learned it from Grant. She released my wrist and looked away. You still have her phone, don't you? I froze. How do you know that? Because she called me an hour ago, panicking that you might have seen something you shouldn't. She's worried about what, exactly? The messages. The voice note. The deal. So it's true, I said. Grant forced her into something. Let's just say Grant doesn't lose. And when he wants something, he makes sure no one else does. I stared at her, searching for any sign of deception. She looked calm, confident, but something in her eyes flickered. You're still protecting her, I said. I'm protecting you. Why? Because you're walking into something you can't win alone. Then help me. She hesitated, then nodded toward the exit. Follow me. We left through the side door into the cool night air. The street glowed with the reflection of neon lights. She walked fast, heels clicking against the pavement. Where are we going? I asked. To show you what you're up against. After 2 blocks, she stopped near a black sedan parked by the curb. She unlocked her phone and showed me a photo. It was Alara and Grant at the Hale Capital Gala. Perfect smiles. Cameras flashing. But behind them, in the corner of the image, was a blurred figure. I looked closer. The dress, the hair, the same shape of jawline. Mara, I said, confused. This looks like you. She took the phone back. It's not. Then who is it? That's what keeps me up at night. My head spun. You're saying someone's pretending to be you? Or replacing me, she said. Grant likes control, remember? Sometimes that includes rewriting people. You're saying he has someone impersonating you? Not just me. He builds stories, narratives, whole lives. People disappear. Others take their place. You think you know what's real until you realize you've been watching a performance. The streetlight caught the edge of her face, sharp and serious. Why tell me this? I asked. Because you're already part of it. You just don't know how deep it goes. I stepped closer. Then tell me everything now. She shook her head. Not here. Not yet. She looked up at me. You didn't deserve what she did. But if you keep chasing her, you'll end up worse than she did. I swallowed hard. You sound like you care. Her voice dropped. Maybe I do. For a long second, the noise of the street faded. Her breath was steady. I could smell her perfume, faint and familiar. She stepped closer. You should go home, Callum. Tomorrow, you'll see for yourself. See what? She opened the car door and handed me her phone. On the screen was another photo, the same gala. Alara and Grant smiling for the cameras, but this time the woman in the background wasn't blurred. It was Mara, wearing the same dress, standing in the same spot. 2 versions of her in one image. My chest tightened. What is this? Her eyes met mine. Proof that nothing about Grant Hale is real. Before I could respond, she got into the car. The window rolled down. Keep Alara's phone close. Don't trust anyone who calls you from an unknown number. The car pulled away, leaving me on the curb with my pulse racing and her words echoing in my head. I looked down at my phone. A new message appeared. Mara, you weren't supposed to see that photo yet. I froze. I had no idea which Mara sent it. The ballroom glittered like a jewelry box under 1,000 chandeliers. I straightened my tie and scanned the crowd, pretending I was here for business. The truth was simpler. I wanted her to see me, then she walked in. Mara Quinn, backless red dress. Confidence sharp enough to draw blood. Every man in that room turned, but her eyes found me first. She smiled. Didn't expect to see you here, Callum. I could say the same, I said, keeping my voice calm, though my pulse spiked. You look like trouble, only to people who deserve it. She took a champagne glass from a passing waiter. You work with Hale Industries, right? Used to, I said. Marketing. Before he decided to buy my girlfriend. Her smirk was faint but knowing. Ex-girlfriend, technically. And you're still sore about it, wouldn't you be? She leaned closer. Depends how it ended. The scent of her perfume hit me. It was warm, expensive, and distracting. I watched her eyes linger on my tie, my jaw, then back to my face like she was searching for something. What are you doing here, Mara? I asked. Consulting, she said. Grant hired me last week. PR overhaul. Crisis control. My hand tightened around my glass. You're working for him? Relax. I'm not loyal to him or her. Her tone dropped lower. I'm loyal to myself. Before I could reply, I felt the temperature shift. Alara had arrived. She stood across the room, shimmering in silver. Grant's arm rested possessively around her waist. When her gaze landed on me, her smile faltered. Then she noticed Mara beside me, and that smile vanished completely. Mara followed my line of sight and whispered, Guess she didn't expect me either. She's not exactly happy, I said. Good. We clinked glasses. The sound was too loud, too deliberate. Ilara's stare burned from across the room like a silent challenge. Mara turned slightly toward me. You want to get even, don't you? Define even. Make her feel what you felt. I met her gaze. And what do you get out of it? A front row seat, she said with a smirk. I laughed, but it came out tight. You enjoy chaos. She leaned in until her lips were near my ear. Only when it's honest. Someone called her name from the crowd. Grant's assistant. Mara gave me a look before stepping away. Try not to miss me too much. Not promising anything. She walked off, the back of her dress a scarlet slash against the black suits and sequins. I felt eyes on me from every direction. But one stare was heavier than the rest. Lair. I pretended not to notice when she started toward me, but her perfume reached before she did. She stopped just close enough for tension to fill the space between us. Callum, she said softly. You shouldn't talk to her. I didn't know she came with a warning label. Her voice dropped. She's not who you think she is, and who are you to warn me? I asked. You lost that right when you walked out. Her expression flickered. I made a choice. You know why? I know what you told yourself, I said. That stability mattered more than love. I hope the diamonds help you sleep. Don't do this here. Then tell me why she's here. Why is your best friend suddenly part of Grant's company? Ilara hesitated. She wanted in. He offered. She's good at what she does. Right. PR cleanup. That must include cleaning up after him too. Her jaw tightened. You don't understand what he's capable of, and help me understand. I can't, she said, eyes darting toward Grant. Not now. Before I could say another word, Grant walked up beside her. Reed, he said coolly. Didn't know you were invited? Networking event, I said. Your firm sent the invite. Must have been a clerical error. His smirk was polished and poisonous. Ilara shifted uncomfortably. Grant, please, he cut her off. Enjoy the night, Callum. I'd hate for anyone to think you're still hung up on what's mine. I smiled thinly. Funny, you sound insecure for a man who has everything. His eyes darkened, but he didn't answer. Ilara touched his arm, whispering something that pulled him away. When they left, I found Mara again near the bar, laughing with a few executives. She saw me and excused herself. Nice show, she said, sliding beside me. You didn't flinch. Wasn't worth it. Maybe, but she looked like she was ready to explode. Good, I said. She should. Mara tilted her head. You're playing with fire. So are you. That's the fun part. Her tone carried something electric, something unspoken. I didn't step back when she reached out and brushed imaginary lint from my jacket. My pulse betrayed me. Tell me something, I said. Why are you really here? Her smile faded slightly. I told you. PR work, I don't buy it. She met my eyes. Then don't. Just enjoy the show. The band shifted into a slower song. Couples filled the floor. I felt the pull before I made the choice. Dance with me, I said. She looked amused. You sure that's wise? Probably not. What? She hesitated, then slipped her hand into mine. The contact was instant heat. On the dance floor, every move felt deliberate, reckless. I could feel Ilar's eyes on us from somewhere behind. Mara leaned in, her breath brushing my neck. She's watching, she whispered. I know. Do you care? Not even a little. The music slowed, the lights dimmed, and I forgot the noise around us. Her hand rested against my chest, and for a moment, the revenge, the heartbreak, all blurred into something dangerous. When the music ended, she stepped back, eyes glinting. You're better at this than I thought. Comes with experience. Her phone buzzed. She checked the screen, then handed it to me. Thought you'd want to see this? Photo filled the screen. Alara and Grant smiling for the camera at the gala entrance. But behind them, half hidden in the reflection of a glass wall, was Mara. The same red dress, different expression, cold, calculating. I looked at her. When was this taken? Before you saw me tonight, she said quietly. I wanted to see how they'd react to each other when they thought no one was watching. And, let's just say, she said, sliding her phone back into her clutch, your ex isn't as happy as she pretends to be. Studied her face. What are you planning? Something that'll hurt the right people. If I get caught in the middle? She smiled faintly. Then I'll make it worth your while. Before I could respond, the lights flickered as the gala wound down. People began to leave. I turned toward the exit, but she caught my arm. Callum, she said softly, you should know something. What? Her eyes held mine. Alara isn't your problem anymore. I am. Then she walked away. I stood in the fading glow of the ballroom, heartbeat steady but mind racing. Minutes later, as I reached the corridor, someone grabbed my wrist. Lara, her eyes were wild, her voice low. Don't let her fool you, she hissed. She's worse than me. I stared at her, and for the first time, I wasn't sure which of them I believed. The email came at 9:12 a.m. sharp. From Mara Quinn, subject, proposal confidential. The preview line read, I have an offer you won't ignore. I didn't open it right away. I stared at it while my coffee went cold. After the gala, after the dance, after that line she whispered about being my new problem, I told myself to stay away. But curiosity is stronger than pride. I clicked. Her message was short. Lunch today. 1 o'clock. The Glass House Cafe. Bring your ambition. I showed up. The Glass House Cafe overlooked the river, sleek and bright, filled with people who looked like they owned the skyline. Mara sat by the window, legs crossed, sunglasses off, business suit black as midnight. You came, she said, smiling. Good start. You're impossible to ignore. It's flattery before coffee. Dangerous move. I thought danger was your specialty. She pushed a folder across the table. Halley Capital. Full rebrand. I'm heading the project. I want you as lead strategist. I laughed. You're joking. I don't joke about work, she said. You're one of the best in the field. Grant knows it too. You already told him. He approved it, she said. He doesn't know you'll be working directly under me. That's suicide. It's opportunity, she corrected. You want revenge? I want control. This gives us both. I leaned back. You think I'll walk into his company after what happened? She looked straight at me. You already said yes. You just haven't heard yourself say it yet. The waitress arrived. Mara ordered an espresso. No sugar. I didn't order anything. What's the catch? I asked. She hesitated for the first time since I'd met her. My ex was Grant, she said quietly. The words hit harder than I expected. You and him? Years ago. Before Alara, before his empire looked so perfect. She lifted her cup, eyes steady. He used me, then buried me. The rebrand is my way in. I studied her. You're serious. Deadly. You want revenge too. And maybe a little chaos. I exhaled slowly. You're dragging me into a war. Not dragging, she said. Inviting. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. Think about it. The contract goes live next week. If you say no, I'll find someone else. But if you say yes, you'll be in the same room with Alara again. Every day, watching her pretend she's happy, the idea burned. You're manipulative, she smiled. You like it, I didn't answer. By the time we left the cafe, I'd already made my decision. The first day at Hale Capital felt like walking back into a storm I swore I'd escaped. Everything gleamed. Glass walls, cold light, quiet power. I wore confidence like armor. Mara was already there, giving orders to her team, voice crisp and steady. When she saw me, her tone softened. Glad you didn't run. I don't run from sharks, I said. She laughed under her breath. Let's see if you can swim with them. She led me into a meeting room. Ilara was there. Her eyes widened when she saw me. You're working here now? Yes, I said. New project. Her expression flickered between shock and anger. Grant won't like this. I'm not working for him, I said. I'm working with Mara. The silence that followed was thick. Alara finally spoke. You should be careful. This place ruins people. Funny, I said. That's what people said about love. She blinked, then walked out before Mara could respond. Mara closed the door behind her and turned to me. You handled that well. I didn't come here for her, I said. Keep telling yourself that. Hours passed in controlled chaos. We brainstormed campaigns, drafted taglines, argued over strategy. She was relentless and brilliant. Every time she leaned over my shoulder, every time her hand brushed mine on the keyboard, my focus slipped. At one point, she caught me watching her. Stop staring. Callum, you make it hard not to. Her lips curved slightly. Then don't stop. For a few seconds, the air between us felt electric. Then she looked away. We should keep this professional. Do you actually want to? Not even a little. It was past midnight when we finished. Everyone else had gone home. The city glowed below the glass walls. She stood by the window, heels in her hand, looking almost human for once. You ever think about walking away from all of it? I asked every day, she said. Then I remember I'm not built for quiet. Neither am I, she turned. Then maybe we're more alike than we should be. I moved closer. That a problem? It's a warning. I stopped beside her. I'm bad at listening. She smiled faintly. I noticed. The silence was heavy, but not uncomfortable. Her reflection in the glass caught the city lights, and I realized I was too close to step back. You know this is going to blow up, I said. I'm counting on it. Why me, Mara? You could have picked anyone. I didn't want anyone else, she said. I wanted you. Something in her voice cracked the wall I'd been holding up. I didn't touch her, but I wanted to. Every inch of restraint felt like punishment. The elevator chimed somewhere down the hall. She stepped back. Go home, Callum. You're not coming? I have to finish a report. You mean cool off? Both? I grabbed my jacket, forcing myself toward the exit. Fine. But you owe me a drink when this is over. Deal, she said. I walked out before I did something I couldn't take back. The office corridor was dark, empty. My phone buzzed. Unknown number? I glanced down. Message, if you keep seeing Mara, Grant will destroy you. My pulse kicked. I looked through the glass toward her office. She was still at her desk, staring at her laptop, unaware. I typed a reply but stopped halfway. Whoever sent that text knew too much. I locked my phone and stepped into the elevator. Watching her silhouette fade behind the closing doors, I told myself I was fine. That this was business. That I was in control. But deep down, I already knew. I'd crossed a line I couldn't uncross. The message came from Grant's assistant. Mr. Hale requests your presence for lunch. 1 o'clock. Harbor Room wasn't a request. It was a summons. By the time I arrived, Grant was already seated. Expensive suit, perfect posture. The kind of calm that only comes from knowing he owns everything in the room. He didn't stand when I approached. "Callum," he said, "join me." I sat across from him, forcing my expression neutral. "Didn't expect this invitation?" He smiled without warmth. "You've been working closely with Mara. Thought it was time we talked. About business? About boundaries." He set down his glass. "You're in my company now. My projects, my world. I like control, Callum. It keeps things predictable. I don't take orders outside contracts." He leaned forward. "Then consider this advice. Stay in your lane." I met his eyes. "You're afraid of something." "Not afraid," he said calmly. "Aware of what?" "Mara," he said. "She has a habit of using men until they break. I'd hate to see her do that to you too." I held back a laugh. "You sound jealous." "I sound experienced." "She mentioned you dated," I said. "Must have ended badly." His eyes narrowed. "She didn't tell you everything then?" "She never does." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small velvet box, and placed it on the table. "Do you know what this is?" I shook my head. He opened it just enough for me to see the diamond bracelet inside. Ilara's bracelet. "The one she wore the night she ended us? Beautiful, isn't it?" He said. "Cost me more than most people make in a year. I gave it to her the night she agreed to walk away from you." I stared at it. "You bored her silence." He smiled. "I bought her future. You should thank me." Stood. "Enjoy your lunch, Callum," he said sharply. "You re-smart? Don't make me treat you like a problem." I looked at him one last time. "You already do," and I walked out before I said something I couldn't take back. When I returned to the office, Mara was sitting on my desk. Her expression was unreadable. "You met him. He summoned me." I figured. "Did you know he'd try to threaten me?" "Grant doesn't threaten," she said. "He tests. He told me you used men until they break." She smiled faintly. "He would say that. Was he right?" Her eyes softened. "No. I break the ones who deserve it." She slid something across the desk. "Ilara's bracelet." My stomach twisted. "Where did you get that?" "It was in Grant's office safe. He keeps trophies, so he wasn't lying." "Oh," she said quietly. "He paid her to disappear. She didn't want to, but she did it anyway. He offered her everything she thought you couldn't." I turned the bracelet in my hand. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because she's not the enemy anymore." "He is? Then why stay here? Why work under him?" Her voice dropped. "Because taking him down from the inside is the only way to win?" I stared at her. "You sound obsessed." "Maybe I am. But I'm not doing it alone anymore. You think I'll help?" "You already are," she said. "Every report you write, every campaign you lead, it chips away at his control. He's paranoid. You being here gets under his skin." Set the bracelet down. "You're using me." "I'm involving you," she corrected. "There's a difference, Mara. You're playing a dangerous game. So are you." The silence stretched. Then she said softly, "Did he scare you?" "No," I said. "He reminded me what I'm capable of." That evening the office was quiet. Mara had left hours earlier. I stayed, trying to focus on work, but the bracelet glinted under the desk lamp like a taunt. Every memory came back. Ilara's perfume. Her laugh. The night she said stability mattered more than love. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. I hesitated before answering. "Hello?" The voice was shaky, but familiar. "Callum." "Ilara." For a second, I couldn't speak. She exhaled. "I shouldn't be calling, but I had to." "You've had months," I said. "What changed?" "He's not who you think he is. I know exactly who he is." "No," she said, voice trembling. "You don't. He's dangerous." I gripped the phone tighter. "What did he do to you?" "I can't say. He listens to everything. Please just stay away from him. Stay away from Mara too. She's not safe either. Mara's helping me. She's helping herself. She always does." "Ilara, what are you so afraid of?" "He doesn't let people leave," she whispered. "Not really. When I tried, the line cut. Ilara. Silence. Then a soft click. I lowered the phone, pulse hammering. For a moment, the office felt smaller, the air thinner. My screen lit up again. One new message, from the same unknown number. Don't trust anyone in that building, especially her. I looked toward Mara's empty chair, the bracelet catching the light beside it. I wasn't sure which her they meant anymore. The rain came down like it was trying to wash the city away. I stood under the awning, phone buzzing in my hand. One text from Ilara, please. Just meet me. 15th Street. I need to see you. Every part of me said not to go, but I was already walking when I saw her. She was standing in the middle of the streetlight's glow, soaked through, hair plastered to her face. Her mascara ran down her cheeks, and her arms wrapped around herself like she could hold her guilt in. Ilara, I said. She looked up, breath hitching. You came. You didn't give me a choice. I didn't think you would. I shouldn't have. She took a shaky step closer. I had to see you. I made a mistake. The words hit me like thunder. A mistake? Leaving you, she said. Choosing him. Everything I told myself about Grant was a lie. He's not what he seems. I cut her off. He bought you, Ilara. You made that choice. She shook her head. I thought I was protecting you by selling us out, by keeping you alive. That stopped me. What are you talking about? She took another step, rain dripping from her fingers. You don't understand what he's capable of. When I tried to walk away, he made sure I couldn't. He said if I told you anything, he'd destroy you. But you think that makes it better? No, she whispered. It makes me desperate. I turned away, trying to breathe. The sound of rain against the pavement drowned everything else. Then she said quietly, I never stopped loving you. I faced her again. You don't get to say that. Her lips trembled. I have to, because it's the only truth I have left. She reached out and touched my arm. I should have pulled back. I didn't. Her fingers were cold, trembling against my skin. Tell me you don't still feel it. I didn't answer. She moved closer, her breath warm despite the rain. Callum, look at me. I did. Her eyes were full of the same ache I'd tried to bury for months. The scent of her perfume jasmine and smoke cut through the rain. My body remembered her before my mind could fight it. I said quietly, You broke me once. Then let me fix it. Her hand slid around my neck. I felt everything I'd tried to forget, Ilara. I whispered. Stop. She didn't. She pressed her forehead to mine. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. When she hugged me, it wasn't gentle. It was desperate, clinging, as if she could rewrite what she'd done just by holding on. I let her, just for a moment, because I was tired of pretending I didn't want to. Then a voice cut through the rain. Am I interrupting? I froze. Mara stood under a black umbrella a few feet away. Her clothes were dry, her hair perfect. But her eyes burned like she'd been standing in the storm with us the whole time. I stepped back from Ilara. Mara, it's not what it looks like. She let out a short, bitter laugh. It looks like you believed her. She showed up out of nowhere. Of course she did. Mara's voice was low, almost trembling. And you ran straight to her. Just like he said you would. Grant, he told me you'd go back the moment she called. That's not true. Then tell me why I'm standing here watching you hold her like she still owns you. Lara stepped forward. Mara, this isn't about you. Mara's head snapped toward her. You should leave before I forget how to stay professional. Ilara's voice broke. I came here to warn him. You came here to manipulate him. Again, I tried to cut in. Mara, stop, please. She looked at me, her voice tight. You think I don't see it? You think I don't know what this is? You talk about trust, about doing the right thing, but the second she cries, you fold. She was in trouble and I wasn't. The words hit harder than I expected. Mara's voice softened, but it hurt more. You think I didn't care? You think I risked everything just to watch you chase a ghost? Ilara's not a ghost, I said. Then she's poison, and you're still drinking it. Rain poured harder, wind cutting between us. Ilara whispered, Mara, please. You don't understand. Mara's jaw tightened. I understand enough. She turned to leave, but I caught her arm. Wait, let go, she said, voice shaking. You made your choice. I didn't. Yes, you did. Her eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw what she'd been hiding. Not just anger hurt, real hurt. Then she pulled away and walked off into the rain. Laura touched my hand. I didn't mean to make things worse. You did. She stepped back. He's going to come for you now. Grant doesn't forgive disobedience. Neither do one. Her eyes filled with tears again. Then I guess I've lost you twice. I didn't answer. She turned and disappeared into the storm. By the time I got home, I was drenched and exhausted. I dropped my keys on the counter and noticed something on the floor by the door. An envelope. No name, just my address. I opened it. Inside were photos. Me and Alara in the rain. Her arms around me, my hand on her waist. Every frame perfectly timed, perfectly incriminating, at the bottom. A single note. This is just the beginning. I stared at it, water still dripping from my hair. My chest tightened, not from fear, but from realization. Someone wanted a war, and they just made it personal. The email hit my inbox at 9 in the morning, due to unforeseen complications. The Hale Capital rebranding project will be suspended indefinitely. No signature, no explanation. Just corporate silence with Grant's fingerprints all over it. I stared at the screen, jaw tight. Every late night, every pitch, every line Mara and I had built, it vanished in a single line of text. I called her, straight to voicemail. I grabbed my coat, ignored the rain, and walked out. By the time I reached her building, the city was glowing with storm reflections and traffic. The concierge didn't ask questions when I said her name. He just buzzed me up like he already knew trouble had my face on it. She opened the door in loose silk pants and a fitted black top. Her hair was tied up carelessly, but her eyes were sharp. I saw the email, I said. So did I, Grant. Who else? I stepped inside. The apartment was small, but high up, glass walls framing the skyline. The rain made it shimmer, like the city was bleeding light. She turned her back to me and poured 2 drinks. He's cutting me off. Because of me? Because I didn't play along. She handed me a glass. You were the perfect excuse. I took it, but didn't drink. So this was part of his plan. It was part of mine too, she said quietly. I frowned. What does that mean? She looked at me. It means I thought I could expose him without dragging you into it. I thought I could handle him the way I used to. You were involved with him. Her silence was enough. How long? Long enough to know how dangerous he is. Long enough to realize I was disposable. I took a step closer. Then why go back to his company? Because he owes me. Because he doesn't get to walk away clean while I keep the scars. Mara, you don't owe him revenge. Her eyes flicked up to mine. You think I want revenge? What else is this? I want freedom. Her voice cracked on that word. She turned away again, fingers trembling as she set the glass down. I wanted to say something smart, something that would make sense of all this. But the air between us was too heavy for logic. You should have told me, I said. And said what? That the man who wrecked your life used to share my bed? My chest tightened. It would have been a start. She laughed bitterly. You would have walked out. Maybe, but I wouldn't have found out like this. She faced me again. You don't trust anyone anymore, do you? I trusted Alara. Exactly. The silence between us stretched until it became something else. Something alive. She moved closer, slow but sure, her eyes searching mine like she was daring me to look away. You hate me right now, don't you? I don't know what I feel. Yes, you do. Her voice dropped lower. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. The rain outside hit harder against the glass. The city lights flickered across her face. It's gold and red and blue. She took another step, close enough that I could feel the warmth of her breath. Say something. I swallowed hard. If I do, I won't stop. Then don't. When her lips touched mine, it wasn't soft. It was sharp, bruising, like she was trying to erase everything between us, the lies, the names, the danger. Her hand slid into my hair, pulling me closer. My drink hit the floor. I didn't care, she whispered against my mouth. Tell me this isn't just payback. It's not. Her eyes softened. Then prove it. We moved like we'd been waiting for this since the moment we met. The room felt too small for the kind of heat building between us. Every touch was a confession. Every breath was a risk. When we finally stopped, her head rested against my chest. The city glowed behind her, quiet and endless. I shouldn't have done that, she said softly. I'm not complaining. That's the problem. I brushed my fingers over her jaw. You're shaking. So are you. We stood there, both too proud to admit how much we needed the other, I finally said. If Grant finds out, he'll use this. She looked up. Let him try. I smiled, but it felt hollow. He already has something planned. He always does. Her voice steadied. Then we beat him first. How? She hesitated. I've been keeping files. Financial trails, communications, enough to burn him down. You've been holding this back? I wasn't sure I could trust you, and now. She took a long breath. Now I'm not sure I can trust myself. I pulled her closer again. Then we start with honesty. Her lips curved faintly. You first, I'm falling for you. That broke her guard completely. For a second, she just looked at me, silent. Then she whispered, You shouldn't. Too late. Her hand slid to my chest. You don't even know who I am? Then show me. We kissed again, slower this time, less anger, more ache. When we finally drifted apart, she whispered, Stay, I can't. You already did. Stayed. Morning light cut through the blinds. The city was quiet. Mara slept beside me. The storm finally gone. For the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. Then my phone buzzed. 30 new emails. Subject lines flashing one after another. Urgent, photos circulating online. Confidential breach. Damage control needed immediately. My stomach dropped. I opened one. It was us, Mara and me. Her apartment. Her hands in my hair. Every photo perfectly framed, intimate. Undeniable. At the top of the screen, from Elar Voss at Private Mail, I looked at Mara sleeping beside me. Unaware, whatever peace I thought I'd found was gone, because now it wasn't just about love. It was about leverage. The office was silent when I walked in. Every screen frozen. Every conversation dead. My photo was on half the monitors, me and Mara. It's her apartment, the kind of pictures that could end careers. My body tightened. The marketing floor that used to buzz with life now felt like a courtroom. Callum, my assistant whispered, standing by my desk. They said to wait in the conference room. Who? Compliance, HR, and Mr. Hale's legal team. My jaw clenched. Of course, inside the glass-walled room, the city stretched behind me, sharp and unforgiving. Grant sat at the end of the table, a predator in a designer suit. Alara was next to him, pale lips pressed tight. He smiled when he saw me. You've had quite a week, Mr. Reed. Grant. I stayed standing. Sit. I'm fine. He laughed quietly. You might want to conserve your energy. This won't take long. Alara's eyes darted toward me. They were rimmed red, like she hadn't slept. Grant slid a tablet across the table. Photos. Confidential company property. Breach of conduct. You'll be placed on suspension while we investigate. I didn't look at the screen. You leaked them. He raised an eyebrow. You think I have time for your personal scandals? I think you have time to destroy people who threaten you. Alara's voice cracked. Grant, stop. He didn't even glance at her. You should control your tone, Alara. I stepped closer. You're not controlling her anymore. He smirked. Funny, since she's sitting next to me. Alara stood suddenly, chair scraping the floor. You said you'd stop this. Sit down. His voice turned to ice. She didn't move. You said, if I did what you wanted, you'd leave him alone. Oh? My heart hammered. What did he make you do? Alara's gaze met mine. He made me send those photos. Grant laughed softly. You're lying. She turned to him. You hacked my email. You wrote that message yourself. He stood, slow and calm, the kind of calm that meant danger. Careful what you accuse me of. Enough, I snapped. You've already shown everyone who you are. Grant's smile vanished. And who are you, Callum? The man who sleeps with his ex's best friend while still chasing her? I froze. The words hit harder than the photos ever could. He stepped close. You think you're a victim, but you're exactly what you pretend to hate. I met his stare. Maybe, but at least I didn't buy anyone's silence. He laughed quietly again. You'll regret that. Security entered the room. Two men in dark suits, stone-faced. Grant nodded. Escort Mr. Readout. Alara moved in front of me. Don't, please. Grant didn't even look at her. Alara, sit down before you make this worse. She turned to me, tears in her eyes. He has everything. Every message, every file, every recording. He said if I ever left, he'd ruin both of us. I whispered. Then we take everything back. Callum? You don't understand what he's capable of. I've already seen it. The guards reached for me, but I stepped back on my own. I can walk myself out. Grant smiled again, satisfied. Good boy. I held his stare one last time. You're not untouchable. Neither are you. Outside, the air hit like a punch. My phone buzzed, constantly missed calls, news alerts, internal emails. I didn't answer any of them. Mara's contact photo lit up. I answered. They suspended me. I know, she said, voice low. He canceled my contract too. He's cleaning house. Then we hit back. I'm already working on it. What did you find? There was a pause. Wire transfers? Offshore accounts. Grant's company is laundering money through client campaigns. My pulse quickened. You're sure? I'm looking at the records right now. Where are you? I can't talk here. Mara, meet me at the pier tonight. 11 sharp. Bring nothing, Mara. This isn't safe. It's not supposed to be. She hung up. The day dragged, but I couldn't sit still. I went home, showered, changed into dark clothes. The rain hadn't stopped since morning. The city looked washed out, like it was holding its breath. I grabbed my phone again and dialed Alara. She answered on the second ring. Callum, why did you protect him? I didn't have a choice. You always had a choice. Idreth hitched. He has recordings. Conversations I didn't know he saved. He said if I ever turned against him, he'd send them to every board I've ever worked for. You're still covering for him. I'm trying to survive him, and help me end this. You can't. I already started. Please, just walk away. Tell me the truth, Alara. Do you still love him? Her silence was answer enough. I'll take that as a yes, I said. No, she whispered. I hate him, but I hate myself more for choosing him. I softened for a second. Then help me stop him. I can't talk anymore. Alara, I'm sorry, Callum. The line went dead. By the time I reached the pier, the city was sleeping under a silver mist. Waves slapped against the wood, steady and cold. Mara stood near the edge, hood up, clutching a folder tight to her chest. You came, she said, of course. Eyes darted around. I shouldn't be out here. Then why are you? Because I found proof. Grant's accounts, hidden under shell companies. Payments to government contractors, politicians, media outlets. I stepped closer. How did you get this? His private drive? Ilara's access still works. She helped you? She didn't know I used it. I took the folder. This is enough to end him. She nodded, rain dripping from her lashes. Only if we survive it. The wind cut through us, carrying the smell of salt and danger. You look terrified, I said. I am. Then why bring me here? Because I trust you more than anyone else. I almost laughed. After everything? Especially after everything. I looked at her, really looked. The same woman who had stood across from me in meetings now stood against the storm with her heart exposed. I said quietly, We're in this together. She smiled faintly. You always say that right before things fall apart. Maybe this time they won't. She reached for my hand. You don't believe that? No. But I need to. We stood there, Hands cold, hearts too loud, her phone buzzed. She looked down, frowning. "What is it?" I asked. Her voice shook. "A message from an unknown number." I took the phone and read it, too late. "I already know." No name, no number. Just the message. She met my eyes. "He's watching us." I gripped her hand tighter. "Then we make sure he regrets it." Thunder cracked over the bay. Mara's phone buzzed again. A new message popped up. "If you want to end this, come to me." Alone. She looked at me. "What do we do?" "We end him," she exhaled slowly. "You sure?" I nodded. "Because if we don't, he'll end us first." The storm swallowed our words as the pier lights flickered. Then my phone buzzed with her final text, sent seconds before she disappeared into the rain. "Meet me at the pier. I found something that can end this." I stared at the screen, my heart pounding harder than the thunder. This wasn't just revenge anymore. It was war. The fog rolled in thick enough to swallow the city lights. The pier creaked under my shoes, slick with rain. I spotted her standing near the edge, clutching something in her hand. "Mara," I called. She turned, coat whipping in the wind. "You came. You said you found something." She nodded and held up a small silver flash drive. "This is it. Proof that Grant's company has been laundering money through offshore accounts. Names, transactions, the works. Enough to end him." "How did you get it?" "I hacked into the shared database he thought I didn't know existed. He used Alara's accounts as cover. That's why he can control her." My pulse thudded in my neck. "So she's been lying to both of us." "Not lying. Surviving," she said. "Grant has everything, lawyers, police, media, but this drive can bring him down." I stared at her, the mist catching the glow from the lamppost above. "Then let's go to the authorities right now." Mara hesitated. "We can't. He's watching everyone. I wanted you to see it first, to know I wasn't just some jealous woman. You never were." Her eyes softened. "Then trust me." "Jew," I said quietly. "But if this is real, we're both targets." She stepped closer, her breath warm despite the cold. I stopped being afraid of him a long time ago. The sound of an engine cut through the silence. Headlights exploded across the pier, blinding us. Mara froze. He found us. I turned, shielding my eyes. A black SUV rolled to a stop at the far end. Two silhouettes stepped out. One tall, broad-shouldered. The other slender, trembling. "Alara," I whispered. Mara's expression hardened. "You have to be kidding me." Grant's voice sliced through the wind. "I told you to stay in your lane, Callum." I clenched my fists. "You should have picked a better place to threaten people, Grant. The fog makes good cover." He smirked. "You really think I came here alone?" Two men emerged from the SUV, built like walls, eyes hidden behind sunglasses, even in the dark. Mara backed up. "You can't hide it forever. The drive exists." Grant's eyes flicked to her hand. "Then hand it over, sweetheart, before someone gets hurt." Alara stepped forward, soaked to the skin. "Stop it, Grant. You've done enough." "Stay out of this," he snapped. "You wouldn't even have your penthouse if it weren't for me. You think you own everyone, but you're nothing without control. You're scared of losing it." Cute speech. Grant turned his gaze on me. "You really think she cares about you, Callum? She came to me crying after she left you. Said you were a distraction. Said you'd ruin everything." Lara's face went pale. "He's lying." Mara's jaw tightened. "He's not. I heard the recordings." Lara's eyes darted between us. "I didn't have a choice. He threatened my family." I looked at her, searching for any trace of truth. "And the email? The leaks? Was that you?" She shook her head violently. "No, I swear. He sent them. He wanted to destroy you both, so you'd never trust each other." Grant laughed softly. Touching. Almost believable. Mara stepped in front of me, clutching the flash drive. "You're finished, Grant. Every account, every bribe, every shell company, it's all here." He extended his hand. You really think anyone will believe you over me? Maybe not, she said, but they'll believe her. Ilara took a step forward. He's right about one thing. I helped him. I hid the transfers. I forged signatures. But I kept copies too. Grant's face twisted. You stupid? Before he could finish, Ilara pulled her phone from her coat. One button, and every file goes public. The guards moved fast, but so did Mara. She hurled the flash drive into the air toward me. I caught it just as one of the men grabbed her arm. Run, she shouted. I bolted toward the end of the pier, the rain hammering against my face. Behind me, I heard shouting, footsteps, a struggle. Let her go. I yelled. Grant's voice roared through the chaos. You think this ends tonight? You have no idea who you're dealing with? Then a scream cut through the fog. I turned in time to see Ilara shove one of the guards into the water. Mara broke free, sprinting toward me. Go, Quartz, go, she gasped. We ran until the car alarms from the street pierced the night. I ducked behind a row of dumpsters, catching my breath. Mara leaned against the wall, soaked, trembling. Do you have it? I opened my fist. Empty. What? She said. It's gone. Her eyes widened. You dropped it. I searched my pockets, my jacket, the ground. It was here. I swear. A car sped past the alley, headlights flashing for a split second. And in that flash, I saw Ilara standing across the street, holding the flash drive. Mara froze. She took it. Ilara met my eyes through the rain, her expression unreadable. Then she turned and disappeared into the fog. Mara's voice cracked. She's giving it back to him. I shook my head. No, she's making her own move. We waited in silence as sirens wailed in the distance. The city seemed to hold its breath. Finally, I said, we need to go to the police. Even without the drive, your copy or files, there's enough. Mara wiped the rain from her face. No one will listen until he's taken down from the inside. We need proof. Then we find Ilara before he does. She hesitated, then nodded. She'll go to the one place she thinks he won't follow. Her old gallery, downtown. I started walking. Then that's where we'll end it. But before we could take another step, flashing red and blue lights painted the wet pavement. Police cars screeched to a stop at the end of the alley. Officers poured out, shouting for us to freeze. Mara raised her hands. What's happening? A detective stepped forward. Callum Reed. Yes, you're under investigation for data theft and corporate espionage. We need you to come with us. Mara's voice rose. You've got it wrong. He's the one who exposed the crimes. The detective cut her off. Tell it to the station. As they cuffed me, I looked back at her. Find Ilara. Get the proof. She nodded, tears mixing with the rain. Hours later, as I sat in the holding cell, I saw the news flash across the TV mounted on the wall. Breaking: Grant Hale, arrested on suspicion of fraud and bribery after anonymous evidence submitted to federal authorities. The picture showed Grant being escorted in handcuffs. Fury etched across his face, and then another image appeared. A woman in a dark coat slipping past the crowd of reporters. A flash drive clutched in her hand. It was layered by dawn. She was gone. And Mara too. All that remained was the echo of her last message on my phone. Meet me at the pier. I found something that can end this. Now, I wasn't sure who had really ended it, or who had started it in the first place. 3 weeks. That's how long it had been since the pier. Since Mara vanished. Since the world turned into headlines and whispers. Grant was in custody, but the story was already being rewritten. Visionary CEO betrayed by rogue employees. That was the official narrative. I watched it unfold from my couch, coffee gone cold, trying to remember when I stopped believing in the truth. My phone buzzed. Ilara's name flashed on the screen. I answered. Why are you calling? I need to see you. Her voice was calm, steady. Please, Callum. Hesitated. Where? The old cafe by the waterfront. Noon. I wanted to say no, But I went anyway. The place was half empty, sunlight spilling through tall windows. She was already there, sitting at the corner table. A scarf pulled tight around her neck. When she saw me, she smiled like nothing had happened. "You look tired." "I could say the same," I replied, sitting across from her. "So what's this about? Another confession?" She exhaled. "Maybe, or maybe closure." I laughed quietly. "Closure. That's rich coming from you." Her fingers traced the rim of her cup. "I didn't know he'd go that far, Callum. I didn't know Mara would get dragged into it. You expect me to believe that?" "I'm not asking you to." She leaned forward. "I'm asking you to listen, then say it." She hesitated, then spoke softly. "We were both broken people who loved the wrong ones. That's the truth." I stared at her. "That sounds rehearsed." Her eyes flickered. "Maybe because I've said it to myself 100 times. "Did you send the money?" I asked. She froze. "What money?" "The missing funds from Grant's accounts. The ones that disappeared right before his arrest. You know what I'm talking about?" Her lips parted, but she didn't answer. I leaned closer. "They say Mara took it. Fled the country. That she played everyone. You wouldn't happen to know where she is, would you?" Ilara shook her head slowly. "She's gone, Callum." "Let her be. Gone where?" "I don't know." Didn't believe her. But the look in her eyes made me stop pressing. She reached out, her fingers brushing mine. "You were the only real thing in all of it." I pulled my hand back. "If that were true, you wouldn't have destroyed everything to protect him." My tears welled up, but she blinked them away. "You think I wanted this?" "I think you wanted control," I said. "And when you lost it, you made sure no one else could have it either." Her jaw tightened. "You're angry. I get it. But don't pretend Mara was innocent." "Maybe not. But at least she didn't pretend it was love." She looked away. "You still think she cared about you?" "I know she did." "Then you're blind," she said quietly. She was playing the same game I was. Only she played it better. The words hit harder than I wanted them to. I stood up. "Enjoy your coffee, Ilara." "Callum, wait." I paused, hand on the chair. She looked up at me, eyes sharp again. "Whatever you think you're looking for, you won't find it with ghosts." I didn't answer. I walked out, the sound of the doorbell fading behind me. Outside, the wind bit at my skin. I pulled out my phone to call a cab, but before I could, a message popped up. Unknown number. "Check your bank account." My chest tightened. I opened the banking app with shaking hands. A new deposit blinked at the top of the screen. $250,000 from mquinn.mara. I stared at the name, my thoughts racing. Was it payment? A warning? A goodbye? I called the number that sent the text. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. I went home and paced the apartment, every shadow feeling like her. I could almost hear her voice, that calm, deliberate tone. "You wanted the truth. Now you have it." I dialed her old office. Disconnected. I checked her email. Deactivated. She had wiped herself clean from every trace of my life. Except for the money, the transfer had a note attached. Just 2 words. For everything, I sank into the couch, staring at it. Hours passed. Night fell. My reflection in the glass window looked like a stranger. Then came another message. "Same number. You were right. The truth doesn't save anyone, but it can still destroy him." I typed back. "Where are you?" No reply. I slammed the phone down, my pulse pounding. A knock echoed through the apartment. I froze. When I opened the door, a small envelope lay on the floor. No address, no name. Inside was a photo Mara, standing on a beach. Sunglasses on, wind in her hair, facing the ocean. On the back, a handwritten line. "You told me once you wanted freedom. Now you have it." I stared at it until the ink blurred. Ilara's words echoed in my head. She played it better. Maybe she had. But if she truly ran, why leave the money? Why leave a trail? I opened my laptop and began tracing the transaction. The sender's IP was masked, but the routing bank was offshore. The same one tied to Grant's laundering accounts. It wasn't a payout. It was a message. Mara hadn't stolen from him. She'd stolen from the system that built him, and she wanted me to know. Another notification appeared. My phone lit up again. A single video file. No message, no context. I pressed play. Grainy footage of a hotel room filled the screen. Grant sat on the edge of the bed, shouting into a phone. Papers scattered around him, a laptop open beside him. Then, a female voice cut through. Calm/steady. Smile for the camera, Grant. His head snapped up. The video ended. I stared at the blank screen, heart racing. Mara had everything. The real proof? The one thing that could erase his power completely, and she was still out there. I walked to the window, city lights blurring beneath the rain. Somewhere in that endless sprawl, she was watching this unfold. The woman who'd vanished. With a secret worth millions, the woman who made me question every truth I thought I knew. My phone buzzed once more. Same. Number you still don't understand, Callum. It was never about money, I typed back. Then what was it about? This time, she answered, leverage. I looked out into the night. The word replaying in my head until it didn't sound like a threat anymore. It sounded like a promise. And I knew then that Mara Quinn hadn't disappeared. She was just getting started. The first time I saw her again was in Paris, a small cafe near the Seine. Sunlight cutting across the glass like it wanted to reveal every secret she tried to hide. She was sitting by the window. Hair shorter, darker, wearing a cream coat and sunglasses. But I knew her the moment she lifted her cup. My heart stopped in that quiet second between recognition and disbelief. I walked in before I could talk myself out of it. She didn't look up until I sat down across from her. Mara. Her lips curved slightly. I wondered how long it would take you. You left me with more questions than answers, and yet here you are. She set her cup down carefully. I guess I was right about you. I leaned forward. Right about what? That you can't let go of things that hurt you. I don't let go of things that don't make sense, I said. You disappeared after the pier. You sent me money. You sent me proof that could destroy Grant. And then you ran. Tell me why. Her gaze flickered to the window. Because if I'd stayed, you would have been dragged down with me. Dragged down by what? The truth. By the people who don't want it told? I exhaled hard. So you did steal the money? I took what was already stolen. Every dollar came from fake shell companies Grant created. He built his empire on lies, and I used his own network to expose him. You could have told me. I couldn't trust you. My chest tightened. After everything we went through, she looked at me then, really looked like she was searching for something in my face. I trusted you once, Callum. When I did, people got hurt. You mean Alara? Her eyes darkened. He used her too. I didn't realize how deep she was in until it was too late. Still think she deserves pity? No, but I understand her now. We both tried to survive men who thought control was love. I stayed quiet for a moment, watching the way her fingers trembled when she reached for her cup again. So what now? You hiding here? Pretending you don't exist? Not hiding. Waiting. For what? For the story to finish? I leaned back. That's poetic, but it's not an answer. She smiled faintly. It's the only one I have left. I studied her face. The woman sitting across from me wasn't the same one who once laughed in late-night offices, barefoot and fearless. There was armor now, invisible but heavy. You could come back, I said. You could clear your name. She shook her head. Names don't matter anymore. The files I leaked did their job. Grant's empire is gone. But his investors, his allies, they're still out there. If I return, they'll make me vanish for real. I felt a sharp ache in my chest. And me? What am I supposed to do? Pretend none of this happened? You're supposed to live, she said quietly. That was the point. I didn't come here to live, Mara. I came here to find you. Her jaw tightened. Why? Because I needed to know if you ever meant it. Any of it. She hesitated. You think it was all a lie? I don't know what to think anymore. You kissed me. You trusted me. Then you used me. I'm still trying to figure out which part was real. Her voice dropped to a whisper. All of it was real. That's what made it dangerous. The air between us went still. I reached across the table, my hand brushing hers. You could have told me you were doing this for justice. I would have helped. I didn't want you to become another piece on the board. I already was, I said. The moment I met you, her eyes met mine. For a second, all the walls she built cracked open. Do you still hate me? She asked softly. I tried to, I said. Didn't work. Lips parted, a breath caught between regret and relief. You shouldn't have come. I had to. Why? Because every time I closed my eyes, I saw you walking away. The silence that followed felt alive, full of everything we didn't say. When she finally spoke again, her voice trembled. If I told you that I loved you, would it change anything? Yes, I said. She shook her head. It shouldn't. Then why say it? Because it's the only truth I have left. Stood up, unable to sit still anymore. You're unbelievable. You destroy everything, then hand out truth like it's some kind of apology. She rose too, her voice steady now. You think I wanted this? I lost everything, Callum. My job, my safety, my name. You were the only thing I didn't plan on losing. I took a step closer. Then stop running. Her breath hitched. I can't. Why not? Because if I stay, they win. If I disappear, they don't know where to aim. Stared at her, anger and longing tangling together in my chest. You talk like you're some kind of martyr, but you forget you're still human. I remember, she whispered. Every time I think of you, before I could stop myself, I grabbed her wrist, pulling her closer. Her pulse raced under my thumb. Mara. Her name came out like a question, like a warning. She looked up at me, eyes wet but unflinching. Don't. But she didn't move away. When I kissed her, it wasn't gentle. It was raw, desperate, filled with every accusation I couldn't voice. She kissed me back with the same hunger, the same pain. For a moment, the city, the lies, its betrayal, all of it fell away. Then she broke the kiss and stepped back, breathing hard. This isn't forgiveness, she said. I know. It's goodbye. I shook my head. No, not again. She reached up, touched my face. You were never my revenge, Callum. You were my regret. The words hit like a blade turned inward. I wanted to say something, anything, but she was already walking toward the door. Mara, I called out. She didn't turn around by the time I ran outside. The street was empty. The rain had started again, soft and steady. I stood there watching people hurry by, every face a blur. My phone buzzed. One final message. Don't look for me again. If you love me, let me stay gone. I stared at it, the letters burning into me. Then I deleted it. The sky above Paris was gray and endless. I could almost hear her voice again, saying my name like a secret she wanted to keep. Maybe this was the ending we both deserved. Not a reunion, not revenge. Just truth and the quiet knowledge that somewhere out there, the woman who vanished once still carried my heart in a city built for ghosts. London rain has a rhythm that feels like starting over. It doesn't pour, it cleans. I sat by the window of my new apartment, overlooking the Thames. A glass of whiskey in my hand, laptop open, emails from clients blinking on the screen. 6 months ago, I couldn't imagine peace. Now it felt almost routine. Grant was gone, convicted, his face on every news outlet. The empire that once terrified people, now reduced to numbers in a courtroom report, Alara had vanished from high society. Last I heard, she was auctioning off her jewelry online. Even her smile looked tired in the photos that leaked. And me? I was still breathing. Consulting for a London firm. Steady income, steady life. No ghosts, at least until that night. The knock came just past midnight. 3 sharp taps. I frowned, set the glass down, and opened the door. No one there. Only an envelope on the floor. No name, no address. Just my name written in handwriting I hadn't seen since Paris. Mara, my pulse jumped. I shut the door, turned the envelope in my hands. The paper smelled faintly of salt and perfume, like memory and regret had been sealed inside it. I tore it open. A single photograph slid out the pier. The one where it all started? We were both smiling, unaware of what would come next. Her hair whipped by the wind, my arm around her, both of us pretending the world was ours. I turned it over. Some regrets are worth keeping. I sat down hard on the couch, the words sinking deeper with every breath. Then the phone buzzed. A familiar voice crackled through. Callum, Alara said. I hadn't heard her voice in months. How did you get this number? I have my ways. Why are you calling? I thought you should know. Grant's sentencing hearing was today. 10 years, no parole. They confiscated everything. I already read the reports. She hesitated. I wanted to hear it from you. Maybe because I needed to know if you hate me. Hate's easy, I said. I just don't care anymore. That's worse. Maybe that's the point, she exhaled sharply. I sold everything. The house, the cars, the jewelry. I even tried to sell the necklace you gave me once. The buyer recognized it. Good, you're enjoying this. I'm not. Karma is... Then she said quietly, did you ever love me? I loved who I thought you were, and her. The one who ran. I looked at the photograph again. She didn't run. She survived. Alara's voice softened. She sent you something, didn't she? How do you know? Because she sent me one too. An envelope. Inside was a receipt from a charity. My name listed as donor. She used some of the money she stole to pay off my debts. Even in exile, she's haunting us both. She's making peace, I said. Peace. Alara scoffed. You call this peace? We're ruins pretending to rebuild. Maybe that's what healing looks like. I envy you, she whispered. You always get to be the good one. I almost laughed. There's nothing good left in me, Alara. Just lessons. Then teach me one. Stop calling. The line went dead. I placed the phone on the table, staring at the skyline. The city lights shimmered on the river, and for a moment, I thought I saw her reflection in the glass beside mine. Mara smiling faintly, like she was proud of how the story ended. Some regrets are worth keeping, I murmured. The doorbell rang again. This time it was the concierge. Evening, Mr. Hale. Courier left this for you earlier. Must have missed it. Another envelope, smaller, same handwriting. Inside, a folded note. You once told me forgiveness was freedom. I'm still learning how. I smiled without meaning to. You always did have the last word. Concierge tilted his head. Sorry, sir. Nothing. Thank you. When he left, I poured another drink. The city glowing gold and blue outside. I thought about the first night I met Mara. The argument. The spark. The way she looked at me like she already knew I'd ruin her life, but kissed me anyway. I thought about Grant, the power he wore like armor. About Alara, chasing comfort like it could erase guilt. And I thought about myself, the man who believed love could save broken people. Maybe it did, just not the way I expected. My phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. One line. Paris misses you. No signature. Just a location pin. The same cafe by the Seine. I stared at it, pulse racing again. Then I smiled, set the phone down, and raised my glass toward the window. To love loss. And the ones who taught me both, the whiskey burned as it went down, smooth and final. Outside. The rain began to fall again, gentle against the glass, washing away what was left of the past. And somewhere in another city, I liked to think Mara raised her own glass to the same toast. Because some endings don't need closure. They just need peace.